a lengthy and bitter criticism or attack, a strong, angry and critical speech or writing.
तीखा भाषण, कड़ी आलोचना वाला भाषण.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Diatribe, gumption, soporific, exiguity. Now the correct answer is diatribe.
Diatribe as noun.
तीखा भाषण, कड़ी आलोचना वाला भाषण.
A lengthy and bitter criticism or attack, a strong, angry and critical speech or writing.
Synonym of
Diatribe,
harangue, tirade, philippic, invective, fulmination.
Antonym of
diatribe,
Praise, recommendation, admiration, credit, fame.
Here is the word family of diatribe, as a noun diatribe.
The talk show host launched a diatribe against the celebrity guest. Her rant about the service at the restaurant was a diatribe that lasted for several minutes. His social media post was a diatribe against anyone who disagreed with his views. The politician's speech turned into a diatribe against his opponent. The newspaper editorial was a diatribe against the government's policies.
common collocation of
Diatribe,
Lengthy diatribe. Definition: a lengthy and impassioned speech or writing expressing strong opinions or criticisms. Examples: the professor went on a diatribe about the state of modern education during the lecture. Fiery diatribe. Definition: a passionate and vehement verbal attack or criticism. Examples: the activist delivered a fiery diatribe against social injustice at the protest rally. Written diatribe. Definition: a written piece characterized by strong criticism or invective. Examples: the columnist penned a scathing diatribe against government corruption in her latest article. Harsh diatribe. Definition: a harsh and severe verbal assault or condemnation. Examples: the film critic's review was a scathing diatribe against the movie's poor quality. Political diatribe. Definition: a long and bitter verbal attack or criticism, typically directed at a political figure or ideology. Examples: the politician delivered a scathing diatribe against his opponent during the debate.
Next question. A chaotic or disorganized situation. A confused or disorderly fight.
भिड़ंत, अव्यवस्थित लड़ाई या झगड़ा.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Opulence, respite, gall, melee. Now the correct answer is melee.
Melee as noun.
भिड़ंत, अव्यवस्थित लड़ाई या झगड़ा.
A chaotic or disorganized situation. A confused or disorderly fight.
synonym of
Melee.
Fray, hand-to-hand, brawl, ruckus, scrimmage.
Antonym of
Melee.
Compromise, agreement, peace, social order, peace in society.
Here is the word family of melee, as a noun melee.
The melee broke out after the controversial decision by the referee. The street was full of people in a melee after the parade. The rock band's performance led to a wild melee in the audience. The protest ended in a melee with the police. The candidate was caught up in a political melee.
Common collocation of
Melee.
Chaotic melee. Definition: a situation or event characterized by intense confusion, disorder, and physical confrontation. Examples: the protest turned into a chaotic melee as clashes broke out between the demonstrators and the police. Violent melee. Definition: a fierce and violent fight or skirmish involving multiple participants. Examples: the barroom brawl quickly escalated into a violent melee, causing damage to the establishment. Frantic melee. Definition: a disorganized and frenzied situation or encounter involving a large number of people. Examples: the shoppers rushed into the store during the sale, resulting in a frantic melee as they fought for discounted items. Street melee. Definition: a street fight or brawl involving multiple individuals. Examples: the neighborhood was notorious for frequent street melees that disrupted the peace. Melee combat. Definition: close quarters combat or fighting without the use of ranged weapons. Examples: the soldier was trained in melee combat techniques for hand-to-hand combat situations.
Next question. A logical consequence or an inference drawn from a main proposition. A proposition that follows naturally from a proven statement.
परिणाम किसी बात से निकला निष्कर्ष.
Let us now consider the options for this question. Which of these words best corresponds to the provided definition? Avarice, subterfuge, corollary, enmity. Now the correct answer is corollary.
Corollary as noun.
परिणाम किसी बात से निकला निष्कर्ष.
A logical consequence or an inference drawn from a main proposition. A proposition that follows naturally from a proven statement.
Synonyms of
Corollary.
Conclusion, result, deduction, upshot, inference.
antonyms of
Corollary.
Causation, cause, foundation, occasion, reason.
Here is the word family of corollary, as a noun corollary, as an adjective corollary.
The corollary to the rise in popularity of e-books has been a decline in sales of printed books. A lack of exercise is a corollary of a sedentary lifestyle. The corollary of increased competition in the market was a decrease in prices for consumers. The principle of supply and demand is a corollary of the free market economy. One corollary of the new law was an increase in taxes for businesses.
Here are some useful collocations of
Corollary.
Corollary to a theorem. Definition: a statement or proposition that follows directly from a previously proven theorem. Examples: the Pythagorean theorem has a corollary stating that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Corollary to an argument. Definition: a logical consequence or inference that can be drawn from a given argument or premise. Examples: the corollary to his argument is that increased education leads to better job prospects. Corollary to a principle. Definition: a supplementary or derived principle that is closely related to a core principle or belief. Examples: the corollary to the principle of supply and demand is that prices tend to rise when demand exceeds supply. Corollary to a theory. Definition: a natural or logical extension or implication of a scientific or philosophical theory. Examples: one corollary to the theory of evolution is that species evolve over time in response to environmental pressures. Corollary to a law. Definition: a supplementary or supporting principle or statement that is derived from a legal statute or regulation. Examples: the corollary to the law of gravity is that objects fall to the ground when dropped.
Next question. An intangible factor or variable that is difficult to quantify or predict, such as human emotions, attitudes, or opinions. Something that cannot be weighed or measured, often referring to abstract concepts or intangible qualities.
अनजान तत्व जिसे मापना मुश्किल हो.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Imponderable, zeitgeist, idiosyncrasy, soporific. Now the correct answer is imponderable.
Imponderable as noun.
अनजान तत्व जिसे मापना मुश्किल हो.
An intangible factor or variable that is difficult to quantify or predict, such as human emotions, attitudes, or opinions. Something that cannot be weighed or measured, often referring to abstract concepts or intangible qualities.
Synonym of.
Imponderable,
Elusive, impalpable, less important, intangible, immaterial.
Antonym of.
imponderable,
Ponderable, gargantuan, titanic, heavy, accessible.
Here is the word family of imponderable. As a noun imponderable, as an adjective imponderable.
The scientists were unable to account for the imponderables in their research findings. The explorer was well prepared for the imponderables of the jungle, but still encountered unexpected challenges. The coach struggled to prepare the team for the imponderables of the upcoming match. The investor was hesitant to commit funds to the project due to the imponderables in the business plan. The success of the expedition was dependent on how well the team could handle the imponderables of the terrain.
Common collocation of
Imponderable,
Imponderable factors. Definition: factors or elements that are difficult or impossible to measure or evaluate. Examples: the outcome of the game was influenced by various imponderable factors, such as luck and weather conditions. Imponderable question. Definition: a question or issue that is difficult to answer or resolve due to its complex or uncertain nature. Examples: the existence of extraterrestrial life remains an imponderable question for scientists. Imponderable consequence. Definition: a consequence or result that is unpredictable or beyond calculation. Examples: the imponderable consequence of her actions led to unforeseen complications. Imponderable effect. Definition: an effect or impact that is not easily quantifiable or predictable. Examples: the imponderable effect of the new policy on the economy is yet to be determined. Imponderable variables. Definition: variables are factors that are unpredictable or difficult to account for in a given situation. Examples: the experiment yielded unexpected results due to certain imponderable variables.
Next question. The quality of being untruthful or lying. The state or condition of being deceptive or fraudulent.
असत्यता, झूठ बोलने की प्रवृत्ति.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Anomaly, mendacity, zeitgeist, verisimilitude. Now the correct answer is mendacity.
Mendacity as noun.
असत्यता, झूठ बोलने की प्रवृत्ति.
The quality of being untruthful or lying. The state or condition of being deceptive or fraudulent.
Synonym of.
Mendacity,
Lying, untruthfulness, dishonesty, deceit, deceitfulness.
Antonym of.
mendacity,
Honesty, sincerity, truth, veracity, candor.
Here is the word family of mendacity. As a noun mendacity, as a adjective mendacious, as a adverb mendaciously.
The politician's mendacity was exposed during the election campaign. The lawyer accused the witness of mendacity during the trial. The media criticized the company for its mendacity regarding the environmental damage. Her mendacity resulted in her being fired from her job. The journalist's article revealed the mendacity of the government officials.
Common collocation of.
Mendacity,
Widespread mendacity. Definition: the prevalence or widespread occurrence of dishonesty or lying. Examples: the scandal revealed the widespread mendacity among the company's executives. Political mendacity. Definition: dishonesty or deceitfulness in politics or by politicians. Examples: the politician's speech was criticized for its blatant mendacity and false claims. Media mendacity. Definition: the deliberate spreading of false information or distortion of facts by the media. Examples: the journalist was accused of mendacity when the article was found to contain fabricated details. Corporate mendacity. Definition: dishonesty or deceitfulness exhibited by corporations or business entities. Examples: the company's financial scandal exposed a culture of corporate mendacity and unethical practices. Personal mendacity. Definition: the habit or tendency of an individual to engage in lying or deception. Examples: his reputation suffered due to his personal mendacity, as people found it hard to trust him.
Next question. It can also refer to a mild or lenient punishment. It can also refer to the act of showing mercy or leniency.
दया, क्षमादान, नरमी दिखाकर सजा कम करना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Alacrity, discord, screed, clemency. Now the correct answer is clemency.
Clemency as noun.
दया, क्षमादान, नरमी दिखाकर सजा कम करना.
It can also refer to a mild or lenient punishment. It can also refer to the act of showing mercy or leniency.
Synonyms of
Clemency,
Mercy, leniency, compassion, forgiveness, gentleness.
antonyms of.
clemency,
Here is the word family of clemency. As a noun clemency, as a adjective clement, as a adverb clemently.
The prisoner begged for clemency, but the judge was not swayed and handed down the maximum sentence. The governor granted clemency to the convicted criminal and reduced his sentence. The charitable organization showed clemency toward the homeless man and gave him food and shelter. The criminal sought clemency from the victim's family and asked for their forgiveness. The employee was fired, but he appealed to his boss for clemency and was allowed to keep his job.
Here are some useful collocations of
Clemency.
Grant clemency. Definition: to show mercy or forgiveness by granting leniency or reducing a punishment. Examples: the governor granted clemency to several prisoners on humanitarian grounds. Seek clemency. Definition: to request or appeal for mercy or leniency. Examples: the defendant's lawyer filed a petition seeking clemency for a reduced sentence. Show clemency. Definition: to demonstrate mercy or forgiveness in a particular situation. Examples: the judge showed clemency towards the first-time offender. Pardon with clemency. Definition: to pardon someone with compassion or leniency. Examples: the president pardoned the political activist with clemency for their past actions. Act of clemency. Definition: an official action or decision to grant mercy or leniency. Examples: the act of clemency brought hope to the families of the affected individuals.
Next question. A satirical or humorous criticism or attack on a person, institution, or society, often in writing or speech. A work or piece of writing that uses satire or humor to criticize or attack.
व्यंग्य, मजाक उड़ाने वाला लेख.
Let us now consider the options for this question. Which of these words best corresponds to the provided definition? Melee. Lampoon. Malapropism. Now the correct answer is lampoon.
Lampoon as noun.
व्यंग्य, मजाक उड़ाने वाला लेख.
A satirical or humorous criticism or attack on a person, institution, or society, often in writing or speech. A work or piece of writing that uses satire or humor to criticize or attack.
Synonym of
Lampoon.
Parody, burlesque, caricature, travesty, mock.
Antonym of
Lampoon.
Praise, applaud, approve, support.
Here is the word family of lampoon. As a noun lampoon. As a verb lampoon.
The comedian's lampoon of the politicians had the audience laughing hysterically. The satirical magazine included a lampoon of the president in its latest issue. The writer's lampoon of the celebrity was widely criticized for being mean-spirited. The song was a lampoon of the latest fashion trends. The lampoon of the company's CEO led to his resignation.
common collocation of
Lampoon.
Lampoon a celebrity. Definition: to satirize or mock a celebrity through humorous or exaggerated imitation. Examples: the comedian lampooned the famous actor's mannerisms and speech in a hilarious skit. Lampoon a political figure. Definition: to mock or satirize a political figure through parody or caricature. Examples: the cartoonist lampooned the politician's policies and public image in a series of satirical illustrations. Lampoon a trend. Definition: to ridicule or parody a popular trend or fad. Examples: the satirical website lampooned the latest fashion trend, highlighting its absurdity and impracticality. Lampoon a genre. Definition: to humorously or critically mock a particular genre of literature, film, or music. Examples: the satirical play lampooned the conventions and cliches of romantic comedies. Lampoon, a cultural phenomenon. Definition: to satirize or ridicule a significant cultural phenomenon or event. Examples: the comedy sketch lampooned the obsession with social media and the culture of online influencers.
Next question. A characteristic, habit, or mannerism that is peculiar to an individual. A peculiar habit or manner, especially one that is unique or distinctive to a particular person.
विशेष आदत, किसी व्यक्ति की अनोखी आदत.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Gambit, idiosyncrasy, sanction, pittance. Now the correct answer is idiosyncrasy.
Idiosyncrasy as noun.
विशेष आदत, किसी व्यक्ति की अनोखी आदत.
A characteristic, habit, or mannerism that is peculiar to an individual. A peculiar habit or manner, especially one that is unique or distinctive to a particular person.
Synonym of.
Idiosyncrasy.
Peculiarity, individual, personal trait. Oddity, eccentricity, mannerism.
Antonym of.
Idiosyncrasy.
Normality, generalization, commonness, generality, normalcy.
Here is the word family of idiosyncrasy, as a noun idiosyncrasy, as an adjective idiosyncratic, as an adverb idiosyncratically.
The chef had an idiosyncrasy of adding unusual ingredients to his dishes that sometimes resulted in surprising flavors. The author's writing style had a distinct idiosyncrasy that made it easily recognizable to readers. The professor had an idiosyncrasy of pacing back and forth while delivering lectures. The athlete had an idiosyncrasy of performing a unique pre-game ritual before each match. The actor had a peculiar idiosyncrasy of always wearing mismatched socks on set.
Common collocation of.
Idiosyncrasy.
Personal idiosyncrasy. Definition: a unique characteristic, behavior, or preference specific to an individual. Examples: his idiosyncrasy of always wearing mismatched socks became his trademark. Creative idiosyncrasy. Definition: a distinctive and unconventional artistic or creative trait that sets an individual apart. Examples: the artist's idiosyncrasy was painting with unusual materials such as coffee and wine. Linguistic idiosyncrasy. Definition: peculiarities or quirks in an individual's speech or language use that deviate from standard patterns. Examples: his idiosyncrasy of using made-up words in conversations amused his friends. Cultural idiosyncrasy. Definition: specific customs, traditions, or practices unique to a particular culture or community. Examples: the idiosyncrasy of bowing as a form of greeting is common in some Eastern cultures. Professional idiosyncrasy. Definition: unique habits, rituals, or approaches specific to a particular profession or occupation. Examples: the chef had the idiosyncrasy of tasting every dish with closed eyes to focus solely on flavors.
Next question. A public punishment device consisting of a wooden framework with holes for the head and hands used for displaying and punishing criminals. A wooden structure with holes for the head and hands, used in the past for public punishment and humiliation.
अपमान दंड, सार्वजनिक रूप से किसी को शर्मिंदा करने का दंड.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Gaffe, aberration, palimpsest, pillory. Now the correct answer is pillory.
Pillory as noun.
अपमान दंड, सार्वजनिक रूप से किसी को शर्मिंदा करने का दंड.
A public punishment device consisting of a wooden framework with holes for the head and hands, used for displaying and punishing criminals. A wooden structure with holes for the head and hands, used in the past for public punishment and humiliation.
Synonym of
Pillory,
Crucify, gibbet, denounce, ridicule, shame.
Antonym of
pillory,
Accolade, bouquet, congratulations, esteem, eulogy.
Here is the word family of pillory, as a noun pillory, as a verb pillory.
The use of the pillory was eventually abolished in most Western countries. The townspeople gathered to watch as the accused was placed in the pillory. The pillory was a common form of punishment in medieval times. The criminal was sentenced to a day in the pillory for his crimes. The pillory was designed to humiliate and expose the wrongdoer to public ridicule.
common collocation of
pillory,
Pillory someone's actions. Definition: to publicly shame or criticize someone's actions or behavior. Examples: the public pilloried the CEO for his unethical business practices. Pillory punishment. Definition: a form of punishment or public humiliation in which an offender is secured in a wooden framework and exposed to public ridicule or abuse. Examples in the past: offenders would be subjected to pillory punishment as a means of deterrence. Pillory someone. Definition: to publicly criticize, shame, or ridicule someone. Examples: the journalist used his platform to pillory the corrupt politician. Pillory, a practice. Definition: to strongly condemn or denounce a particular practice or behavior. Examples: the organization worked to raise awareness and pillory the unethical treatment of animals. Pillory in the media. Definition: to subject someone or something to public criticism or negative portrayal in the media. Examples: the celebrity's scandalous behavior was pilloried in the tabloids.
Next question. A loud, unrestrained burst of laughter, especially one that is accompanied by a slapping of the knees or other similar physical reactions.
ठहाका, जोरदार हंसी.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Artifice, guffaw, turpitude, panacea. Now the correct answer is guffaw.
Guffaw as noun.
ठहाका, जोरदार हंसी.
A loud, unrestrained burst of laughter, especially one that is accompanied by a slapping of the knees or other similar physical reactions.
synonym of
Guffaw,
Laugh, roar, titter, belly laugh, cackle.
Antonym of.
Guffaw.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Here is the word family of guffaw. As a noun guffaw, as a verb guffaw.
His loud guffaw could be heard across the room, drawing attention to himself. The comedian's jokes elicited guffaws and laughter from the audience. She couldn't suppress a guffaw when she saw the silly costume her friend was wearing. He tried to cover up his guffaw with a cough, but everyone had already heard it. The movie had some genuinely funny moments that made us burst out in guffaws.
Common collocation of.
Guffaw.
Guffaw at a joke. Definition: to respond to a joke with a loud and boisterous burst of laughter. Examples: the friends gathered around the table guffawed at the hilarious joke. Guffaw in amusement. Definition: to laugh loudly and uncontrollably due to finding something amusing or entertaining. Examples: the children guffawed in amusement at the clown's antics during the circus performance. Guffaw of disbelief. Definition: a loud and disbelieving burst of laughter in response to something surprising or incredulous. Examples: she let out a guffaw of disbelief when she heard the absurd explanation. Guffaw of mockery. Definition: a loud and mocking burst of laughter, often aimed at someone or something. Examples: the bullies unleashed a guffaw of mockery at the awkward student's expense. Guffaw in response. Definition: to laugh loudly and spontaneously in response to something humorous or unexpected. Examples: the comedian's witty comeback made the audience guffaw in response.
Next question. A person who is excessively self-centered and obsessed with their own interests, abilities, and achievements. Someone who thinks highly of themselves and displays an exaggerated sense of self-importance.
आत्ममुग्ध व्यक्ति केवल खुद को बड़ा समझने वाला.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Miser, diatribe, egotist, empiricism. Now the correct answer is egotist.
Egotist as noun.
आत्ममुग्ध व्यक्ति केवल खुद को बड़ा समझने वाला.
A person who is excessively self-centered and obsessed with their own interests, abilities, and achievements. Someone who thinks highly of themselves and displays an exaggerated sense of self-importance.
Synonym of.
Egotist,
Egoist, swellhead, braggart, egocentric, boaster.
Antonym of.
egotist,
Extrovert, extrovert, friendly, gregarious, outgoing.
Here is the word family of egotist. As a noun egotism, as a adjective egotistical, as a adverb egotistically.
His constant bragging and self-promotion earned him the reputation of being an egotist among his peers. The author's work was often criticized for being too self-centered, leading some to label him an egotist. The athlete's egotism was so extreme that she refused to take part in team events and always insisted on being the center of attention. The politician was accused of being an egotist for putting his own interests ahead of those of his constituents. The CEO was a notorious egotist, taking credit for the company's successes and blaming others for its failures.
Common collocation of.
egotist,
Narcissistic egotist. Definition: a person who is excessively self-centered and obsessed with their own importance or achievements. Examples: The narcissistic egotist constantly boasted about their accomplishments, seeking constant admiration. Arrogant egotist. Definition: a person who displays a haughty or overbearing attitude due to their inflated sense of self-importance. Examples: the arrogant egotist dismissed others' opinions as irrelevant and only cared about their own ideas. Conceited egotist. Definition: a person who has an excessively high opinion of themselves and constantly seeks validation and admiration from others. Examples: the conceited egotist couldn't resist checking their reflection in every mirror they passed. Self-absorbed egotist. Definition: a person who is overly focused on themselves and shows little interest or consideration for others. Examples: the self-absorbed egotist rarely asked others about their lives, always turning conversations back to themselves. Delusional egotist. Definition: a person who has an unrealistic or exaggerated sense of their own importance, abilities, or achievements. Examples: the delusional egotist believed they were destined for greatness, despite lacking any substantial accomplishments.
Next question. A feeling of opposition or hostility towards something. A strong feeling of dislike or aversion towards someone or something.
घृणा, वितृष्णा, किसी के प्रति गहरा नापसंद.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Lassitude. Oblique. Quip. Antipathy. Now the correct answer is antipathy.
Antipathy as noun.
घृणा, वितृष्णा, किसी के प्रति गहरा नापसंद.
A feeling of opposition or hostility towards something. A strong feeling of dislike or aversion towards someone or something.
Synonyms of
Antipathy.
Animosity, aversion, hatred, hostility, antagonism.
antonyms of
Antipathy.
Love, liking, admiration, like, regard.
Here is the word family of antipathy, as a noun antipathy, as an adjective antipathetic, as an adverb antipathetically.
The teacher's antipathy towards certain students was evident in the way she treated them, often singling them out for criticism and punishment. The company's antipathy towards unions was reflected in its harsh policies towards employees who tried to organize or bargain collectively. His antipathy towards modern technology was well known, and he refused to use smartphones or social media. There was a clear antipathy between the two political parties, with each side accusing the other of being corrupt and incompetent. She felt a strong antipathy towards people who mistreated animals and would always speak out against such behavior.
Here are some useful collocations of
Antipathy.
Deep antipathy. Definition: strong or intense dislike, aversion, or hostility towards someone or something. Examples: there was a deep antipathy between the two rival gangs. Political antipathy. Definition: a strong opposition or hostility towards a particular political ideology, party, or leader. Examples: the candidate's policy proposals created antipathy among certain voter groups. Cultural antipathy. Definition: a strong aversion or prejudice towards a specific culture or cultural practices. Examples: the cultural antipathy between the two communities hindered efforts for collaboration. Mutual antipathy. definition. A reciprocal or shared feeling of dislike or aversion between two or more parties. Examples: the long-standing rivalry between the two sports teams led to mutual antipathy. Deep-seated antipathy. Definition: a deep-rooted or ingrained feeling of aversion or hostility. Examples: the conflict was fueled by deep-seated antipathy between the two ethnic groups.
Next question. A disease or condition that is regularly found and consistently present in a particular geographic location or population. A plant or animal species that is native to and restricted to a particular geographical area.
क्षेत्र विशिष्ट रोग, किसी क्षेत्र में पाया जाने वाला रोग.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Banality, firebrand, diatribe, endemic. Now the correct answer is endemic.
Endemic as noun.
क्षेत्र विशिष्ट रोग, किसी क्षेत्र में पाया जाने वाला रोग.
A disease or condition that is regularly found and consistently present in a particular geographic location or population. A plant or animal species that is native to and restricted to a particular geographical area.
Synonym of.
Endemic.
Indigenous, native, autochthonous, aboriginal, epidemic.
Antonym of.
Endemic.
Epidemic, cosmopolitan, academic, foreign, epizootic.
Here is the word family of endemic, as a noun endemic, as an adjective endemic, as an adverb endemically.
The endemic of obesity in the country was attributed to a lack of access to healthy food options. The endemic of poverty in the region was a major concern for policymakers. The study aimed to understand the causes of the endemic of malaria in the area. The scientist was surprised to discover an endemic of a previously unknown species in the remote forest. The endemic of corruption in the government had eroded public trust in the political system.
Common collocation of.
Endemic.
Endemic species. Definition: referring to plants, animals, or diseases that are native or restricted to a particular geographic region. Examples: the koala is an endemic species of Australia, found nowhere else in the world. Endemic area region. Definition: a specific geographic area where a particular phenomenon, condition, or disease is commonly found or restricted. Examples: malaria is endemic to certain tropical regions with suitable environmental conditions for mosquito breeding. Endemic culture. Definition: referring to cultural practices, traditions, or customs that are unique or specific to a particular group or community. Examples: the indigenous tribe has an endemic culture that has been passed down through generations. Endemic problem issue. Definition: a recurring or persistent problem that is specific to a particular group, organization, or community. Examples: corruption is an endemic issue in some countries, hampering economic growth and social development. Endemic knowledge. Definition: referring to specialized knowledge, skills, or expertise that is unique or prevalent within a particular profession or field. Examples: the chef has endemic knowledge of traditional Italian cuisine, passed down through generations.
Next question. In astronomy, the point on the celestial sphere directly below an observer, opposite the zenith. The lowest point in a situation or the point of greatest despair or unhappiness.
सबसे निचला बिंदु, जीवन या स्थिति का सबसे बुरा स्तर.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Ascendancy, torpor, platitude, nadir. Now the correct answer is nadir.
Nadir as noun.
सबसे निचला बिंदु, जीवन या स्थिति का सबसे बुरा स्तर.
In astronomy, the point on the celestial sphere directly below an observer, opposite the zenith. The lowest point in a situation or the point of greatest despair or unhappiness.
Synonym of.
Nadir.
Bottom, base, foot, sole, depths.
Antonym of.
Nadir.
Zenith, peak, summit, apex, culmination.
Here is the word family of nadir, as a noun nadir.
The country's economy had reached its nadir during the recession. The team's performance during the game reached a nadir, resulting in a crushing defeat. The company's profits had hit a new nadir, causing concern among investors. After losing her job, she felt like she had reached the nadir of her career. The singer's career hit a nadir after their latest album received negative reviews.
Common collocation of
Nadir.
Reach the nadir. Definition: to reach the lowest point or level. Examples: after a series of failures, his confidence reached the nadir. Suffer a nadir. Definition: to experience or endure the lowest point in a particular aspect of life. Examples: the company suffered a nadir in its reputation after a major scandal. Plummet to the nadir. Definition: to rapidly and steeply decline to the lowest point. Examples: the stock prices plummeted to the nadir, causing panic among investors. Sink to the nadir. Definition: to decline morally or ethically to the lowest point. Examples: the politician's actions caused her reputation to sink to the nadir. The nadir of despair. Definition: the lowest point or depth of despair or hopelessness. Examples: during the nadir of despair, she questioned whether things would ever get better.
Next question. A type of joint used to connect two pieces of wood or other materials at a 90-degree angle, characterized by a series of interlocking wedge-shaped projections and notches. Something that fits together with or complements something else.
जोड़, चीजों को फिट करने का तरीका.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Kavai, dovetail, opulence, sinecure. Now the correct answer is dovetail.
Dovetail as noun.
जोड़, चीजों को फिट करने का तरीका.
A type of joint used to connect two pieces of wood or other materials at a 90-degree angle, characterized by a series of interlocking wedge-shaped projections and notches. Something that fits together with or complements something else.
Synonym of.
Dovetail.
Dovetailed, fit, accord, correspond, coincide.
Antonym of.
Dovetail.
disconnect, disunite, unlink, separate, clash.
Here is the word family of dovetail. As a noun, dovetailing. As a verb, dovetail.
The antique desk was notable for its dovetail joints, which indicated the high level of craftsmanship. The cabinet maker used dovetail joints to ensure that the drawers were sturdy and long-lasting. The restoration of the historical building involved replacing the damaged dovetail joints with new ones. The construction of the medieval castle included intricate dovetail joints in its wooden beams. The carpenter used a dovetail saw to create the precise cuts needed for the joints.
Common collocation of
Dovetail.
Dovetail joint. Definition: a type of woodworking joint that connects two pieces of wood at a right angle, creating a tight and secure fit. Examples: the carpenter used a dovetail joint to construct the sturdy wooden cabinet. Dovetail seamlessly. Definition: to fit together harmoniously or complementarily. Examples: the two teams work together, dovetailing their efforts to complete the project on time. Dovetail with. Definition: to integrate or align smoothly with something else. Examples: the new marketing strategy dovetailed perfectly with the company's brand image. Dovetail interests. Definition: to bring together or align the interests or objectives of different parties. Examples: the negotiation aimed to dovetail the interests of both companies to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Dovetail skills. Definition: to combine or merge different skills or abilities effectively. Examples: his technical expertise and leadership skills dovetailed to make him a valuable asset to the team.
Next question. It implies a sense of refinement and sophistication in one's tastes and interests. A person who has a deep appreciation and understanding of beauty, art, and culture.
सौंदर्य प्रेमी, सुंदर चीजों को गहराई से पसंद करने वाला.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Perfidy, juggernaut, aesthete, screed. Now the correct answer is aesthete.
Aesthete as noun.
सौंदर्य प्रेमी, सुंदर चीजों को गहराई से पसंद करने वाला.
It implies a sense of refinement and sophistication in one's tastes and interests. A person who has a deep appreciation and understanding of beauty, art, and culture.
Synonyms of
Aesthete,
Connoisseur, art lover, aesthete, Epicurean, gourmet.
antonyms of
aesthete,
Cad, know-nothing, man of little culture, buzzard boor, four-letter man.
Here is the word family of aesthete. As a noun, aestheticism. As an adjective, aesthetic. As an adverb, aesthetically.
He is a true aesthete, with a deep appreciation for art, music, and literature. They are a group of aesthetes who are passionate about architecture and design, and they often travel to different cities to explore and admire famous buildings. She has a refined sense of style and is often sought after for fashion advice, making her a natural aesthete. He is an aesthete in the kitchen, creating beautiful and delicious meals that are as pleasing to the eye as they are to the palate. She is an aesthete in her home, carefully selecting every piece of furniture and decor to create a cohesive and visually stunning space.
Here are some useful collocations of
Aesthete,
Artistic aesthete. Definition: a person with a deep appreciation and understanding of art, often possessing a refined sense of taste and style. Examples: the artistic aesthete could discern the subtle nuances and symbolism in every painting. Literary aesthete. Definition: someone who has a profound love for literature and enjoys exploring the beauty and intricacies of written works. Examples: the literary aesthete spent hours immersed in classic novels, savoring the elegant prose. Fashion aesthete. Definition: an individual with a keen eye for fashion and a strong sense of personal style, often following the latest trends and expressing creativity through clothing choices. Examples: the fashion aesthete effortlessly combine different elements to create unique and visually appealing outfits. Interior design aesthete. Definition: a person who possesses a deep understanding of interior design principles and has a talent for creating visually pleasing and harmonious spaces. Examples: the interior design aesthete transformed ordinary rooms into stunning environments with carefully curated furnishings and colors. Music aesthete. Definition: someone who appreciates and deeply understands the complexities and emotions evoked by music, often having a vast knowledge of different genres and artists. Examples: the music aesthete could effortlessly identify the instruments and melodies in every song they heard.
Next question. A prediction or forecast about the future, often made using knowledge, experience, or intuition. An estimation or judgment about what is likely to happen in the future, based on available information.
पूर्वानुमान, भविष्य में क्या होगा इसका अनुमान.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Inequity. Platitude. Prognostication. Dupe. Now, the correct answer is prognostication.
Prognostication as noun.
पूर्वानुमान, भविष्य में क्या होगा इसका अनुमान.
A prediction or forecast about the future, often made using knowledge, experience, or intuition. An estimation or judgment about what is likely to happen in the future, based on available information.
Synonym of
Prognostication.
Portent, presage, prognostic, augury, sign.
Antonym of
Prognostication.
Recollection, proof, reality, truth.
Here is the word family of prognostication. As a noun, prognostication. As a verb, prognosticate. As an adjective, prognostic. As an adverb, prognostically.
The CEO's optimistic prognostication of the company's future growth helped to boost investor confidence. The doctor's grim prognostication of the patient's prognosis was difficult for the family to hear. The weather forecast was a gloomy prognostication of heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures. The political analyst's prognostication of a narrow victory for the incumbent candidate turned out to be accurate. The astrologer's prognostication of a major shift in planetary alignments caused a stir among believers in astrology.
collocation of
Prognostication.
Prognostication of doom. Definition: a prediction or forecast of a negative or disastrous outcome. Examples: the pessimistic forecast was seen as a prognostication of doom for the economy. Prognostication of weather patterns. Definition: a prediction or forecast of future weather conditions. Examples: the meteorologist's prognostication of heavy rain prompted people to prepare for potential flooding. Prognostication of trends. Definition: a prediction or forecast of future trends or developments. Examples: the fashion designer's prognostication of floral prints becoming popular turned out to be accurate. Prognostication of health. Definition: a prediction or forecast of an individual's health condition or prognosis. Examples: the doctor's prognostication of a full recovery provided hope to the patient and their family. Prognostication of technological advancements. Definition: a prediction or forecast of future technological developments. Examples: the tech expert's prognostication of AI-driven virtual assistants becoming ubiquitous is now a reality.
Next question. A highly corrosive and poisonous acid made from sulfur trioxide and used in making fertilizers and dyes. Bitterly harsh or critical language or behavior.
तीखी आलोचना, कठोर और कटु शब्द.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Paucity, vitriol, pundit, duress. Now the correct answer is vitriol.
Vitriol as noun.
तीखी आलोचना, कठोर और कटु शब्द.
A highly corrosive and poisonous acid made from sulfur trioxide and used in making fertilizers and dyes. Bitterly harsh or critical language or behavior.
Synonym of
Vitriol.
Sarcasm, bitterness, hostility, venom, virulence.
Antonym of
Vitriol.
Kindness, fruit of the spirit. Congratulations, open-heartedness, tenderness.
Here is the word family of vitriol. As a noun vitriol, as an adjective vitriolic, as an adverb vitriolically.
The vitriol and hostility between the two sides of the debate made it difficult to find common ground. The online comment section was filled with vitriol and personal attacks. She couldn't believe the vitriol that her innocuous social media post had sparked. The coach's vitriol towards the referees resulted in a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. The politician's speech was full of vitriol and inflammatory language.
collocation of
Vitriol.
Vitriol-laden criticism. Definition: harsh and acerbic criticism filled with bitterness. Examples: the article was filled with vitriol-laden criticism towards the government. Vitriol-spewing individual. Definition: someone who consistently and aggressively expresses hatred or hostility. Examples: the internet troll was known for being a vitriol-spewing individual. Vitriol-filled remarks. Definition: comments or statements filled with intense animosity or malice. Examples: the heated argument was characterized by vitriol-filled remarks from both sides. Vitriol-tainted language. Definition: verbal expression that is filled with venom and spite. Examples: the politician's speech was marked by vitriol-tainted language targeting their opponents. Vitriol-soaked rhetoric. Definition: excessive and inflammatory language used to attack or demean others. Examples: the talk show host's vitriol-soaked rhetoric sparked controversy and outrage.
Next question. A playful or ridiculous act or gesture. A whimsical or bizarre behavior.
हाव भाव, अजीब हरकत, हास्यास्पद या मजेदार क्रिया.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Concomitant, antic, avarice, paragon. Now, the correct answer is antic.
Antic as noun.
हाव भाव, अजीब हरकत, हास्यास्पद या मजेदार क्रिया.
A playful or ridiculous act or gesture. A whimsical or bizarre behavior.
Synonyms of
Antic,
Prank, trick, caper, frolic, joke.
antonyms of
antic,
Serious, humorless, solemn, earnest, no nonsense.
Here is the word family of antic, as a noun antic, as a adjective antic, as a adverb antically.
The clown's antics kept the children entertained throughout the show. The actors' antics during the filming of the movie were legendary, and many behind-the-scenes stories became part of Hollywood lore. The comedians' antics on stage were unpredictable and often controversial. The court jester's antics were often used to criticize the king's policies in a humorous way. The dog's antics in the park attracted the attention of other pet owners and passers-by.
Here are some useful collocations of
antic,
Antic behavior. Definition: playful or mischievous behavior characterized by exaggerated actions or gestures. Examples: the clown entertained the children with his antic behavior. Antic antics. Definition: playful or silly actions or behaviors intended to entertain or amuse. Examples: the group of friends engaged in antic antics at the party. Antic dance. Definition: a lively and exaggerated dance characterized by unconventional movements or gestures. Examples: the performers put on an antic dance routine that captivated the audience. Antic gesture. Definition: a dramatic or exaggerated gesture made to express emotion or convey a message. Examples: the actor's antic gesture added a comedic touch to the scene. Antic performance. Definition: a lively and energetic performance characterized by exaggerated actions or expressions. Examples: the comedian delivered an antic performance that had the audience laughing throughout the show.
Next question. A natural inclination or fondness for something. A preference or liking for something, especially one that is long-standing or hard to change.
लगाव, किसी चीज के प्रति विशेष पसंद.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Predilection, sycophant, foible, lassitude. Now, the correct answer is predilection.
Predilection as noun.
लगाव, किसी चीज के प्रति विशेष पसंद.
A natural inclination or fondness for something. A preference or liking for something, especially one that is long-standing or hard to change.
Synonym of
Predilection,
Bent, inclination, partiality, preference, penchant.
antonym of
predilection,
Dislike, aversion, disinclination, disfavor, disinterestedness.
Here is the word family of predilection. As a noun predilection, as a adjective predilected, rare.
She has a predilection for spicy food. Her predilection for gardening started at a young age. His predilection for adventure led him to climb Mount Everest. I have a predilection for classical music. His predilection for sweets led to tooth decay.
Collocation of.
Predilection.
Predilection for something. Definition: a strong preference or liking for a particular thing or activity. Examples: she has a predilection for spicy food and always orders the hottest dishes on the menu. Predilection towards something. Definition: a natural inclination or tendency towards a specific thing or behavior. Examples: the artist has a predilection towards abstract and surrealistic paintings. Predilection for someone. Definition: a strong attraction or fondness for a specific person. Examples: he has a predilection for her and always seeks her company at social events. Predilection for certain music. Definition: a strong preference for a particular genre or style of music. Examples: his predilection for classical music is evident from his extensive collection of symphonies. Predilection for adventure. Definition: a strong inclination or preference for exciting or daring experiences. Examples: she has always had a predilection for adventure and enjoys activities like skydiving and rock climbing.
You can find playlists for various languages in the video description. To practice the vocabulary, you are encouraged to explore our various apps. Links to these are also included in the description. If you found something new or interesting, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section and provide your valuable feedback. And please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more educational content.